Hi everyone. Welcome to the TOPS special webinar tonight. I am Michelle He with To the Top Education Group, and tonight we have a special treat for you. We have two very special guests with us. So let me introduce them. First, I have with me Susan Koenig, who is the Relationship Manager for Educational Consultants and Advisors at Summer Discovery. Susan, you want to say hi to everyone?
Hello.
And then next, we have another special guest from the company called Polygence in the Bay Area. And this is Dr. George Philip Laborde.
Thank you, Michelle. That was perfectly said. I'm happy to be with you all.
He goes by GP. And our agenda tonight, I'm going to let Susan start with her presentation. So she'll have about 25 minutes. So after Susan's presentation, GP will go over Polygence. And then after they both finish their presentation, I'll introduce our CEO, Ms. Li Zhang, who will talk more about these two programs in Chinese and then answer your questions in Chinese. So without further ado, Susan, go ahead, please.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And I'm very excited to be here and tell you a little bit about how you can make the most of your students' summer in 2021 through Summer Discovery. First and foremost, I wanted to talk a little bit about why a pre-college summer program is important. Certainly, participating in a pre-college summer program helps a student develop a sense of self. We really think it's important for students to start to explore their interests and build confidence in leadership, all while in a safe, secure, and engaging environment. Helping students also develop soft skills necessary to be successful as they transition from high school to college is an important component of a pre-college summer program. Our pre-college summer programs also give our students an opportunity to network with like-minded students and make new friends from all over the world. We are very proud of our global community on all of our summer discovery programs, whether they be in person or online. And then, of course, we find that many of our students who participate in a pre-college summer program also improve their academic performance and enhance their educational portfolio as they prepare for that college application process. Let me tell you a little bit about Summer Discovery. We're very proud of our longevity in the pre-college academic space. We have been in business since 1966. We started out in the adventure academic travel industry. And then about 45 years ago, we launched our first pre-college experience program at UCLA. Since then, we've grown to have partnerships with over 12 universities, most of them here in the US, 2 in the UK, and 1 in Singapore. And we're very proud of the ability to deliver transformative summer experiences for our middle school and high school students throughout our active partnerships with world-leading universities. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is our true partnership with our universities. So the academic portion of all of our programs will be overseen by our university partners. So what does that mean? Even though most of our programs are not for college credit, they're college level academics taught by university faculty and instructors in university classrooms. And most of the syllabus is geared for and designed and modeled after successful college level courses. We do believe, though, that the safety and supervision is the top priority of Summer Discovery, and I'll go a little bit over our safety protocols in a few minutes. We also have a wide range of academic course offerings, so there is a little something for everybody, and when the students are not participating in their academic classroom space, then we have a full range of activities every afternoon, evening, and weekend to keep the students busy, happy, healthy, and safe. One of the things that I think is the most important, given that we're just coming to hopefully the tail end of COVID, is that summer 2021 is happening, and we're very happy for that. Last year, while we had to pivot all of our in-person experiences to an online experience, this year we're pleased to be able to return to campus and have physical, in-person, both residential and commuter options for our Summer Discovery students. But what's important to note is that summer may look a little different than it's looked over the last 45 years. But making it different doesn't mean it won't be great. And we'll go over some of the things that are changing this year for 2021. So as I mentioned, because we were very successful in pivoting our programs last year from in-person to online, this year we're going to continue to grow and build and offer both in-person, residential, and commuter opportunities, as well as online opportunities for our middle school and high school students. I'm going to first start with some of our in-person experiences. And so we have a number of different options that are residential. These provide both an academic program for your students as well as living and learning on the college campus. So they will have their room and board, all of their activities every afternoon, evening, and weekend, as well as the safety and supervision. We have 2 new university partners, Connecticut College in New London, Connecticut, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Haverford College, just outside of Philadelphia. Our UCLA and UCLA Anderson School of Management programs will continue to run in person this summer. We're very excited about that. And our program at the University of Michigan. We have some new commuter day programs as well. One in Queens, New York, one in the Washington, D.C. area, and one in Montclair, New Jersey. And these are day options, both full day and half day. UCLA and UCLA Anderson is also a commuter program for students who live in and around the Los Angeles area, as is the Michigan program. And then we have a number of online academic course offerings and a global community engagement experience through many of our university partners, in addition to UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, CU Boulder, UT Austin, and Georgetown University. I'm going to first talk a little bit about the in-person experiences. And I hope I'm not talking too fast, but I do want to cover a lot of information to give you a brief overview of all of the different options available. Our Summer Discovery program at UCLA offers a 2, 3, 5, or 6-week option for our students, and again, as well, a commuter option. And at UCLA, we have not only our high school program, which is the majority of our programming for students finishing 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, ages 14 to 18, we also have a middle school enrichment program for students finishing 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. While students are on campus for the residential program, they will live at Hedrick Summit Suites, which is a dedicated residence hall for Summer Discovery students and staff only. And those are suite-style dormitories, anywhere from 2 to 4 students in a suite. Academic courses are offered in 9 subject areas, everything from arts and design to business and entrepreneurship to law and government, leadership, social sciences, computer sciences and STEM, medicine, etc. And so again, most students will take either 2 classes, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or they can take part in what we call a full day intensive academy in one subject area, giving them a more in-depth look at that particular subject. For instance, through the Anderson School of Management, some of our more popular courses are things like the business of entertainment, media, and sports, sports business, or digital marketing and social media. But there's also a wide range of other full-day academies in film, computer programming, and things like that. Again, some of the sample activities that we take part in, not only in the afternoons and the evenings on campus and in the surrounding area. On the weekends too, we'll go and we'll do things like visit the Los Angeles Zoo, host bonfires at the beach, provide a festival under the stars for our students, intramural sports, show nights on campus. Talking a little bit about our Summer Discovery program in Michigan, that will offer, actually I meant to update this change. We just got word that that's only going to be a 3-week option this summer. Again, it is for students grades 9, 10, 11, and 12, ages 14 to 18. Our students will be housed at the Michigan-inspired Graduate Hotel, which is just across the street from the university campus. Our courses, again, are offered in 9 subject areas. They will take 2 courses, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, or a full day intensive, and a number of different activities, both on campus in the surrounding area, such as visiting the Arboretum, going to the farmer's market, the zoo, Major League Baseball games, things like that. Our new program, one of our newest programs this year, is our program at Haverford College. It's a small liberal arts college just outside of Philadelphia. We have a number of different session options. So you can go for 2 weeks. We have a session 1 and a session 2, or you can go and stay for both 2-week sessions and make a 4-week summer experience. again, for grades, students in high school finishing 9th through 12th grade, ages 14 to 18. At the Haverford College program, all of the academic portion of the student's day will be full day intensive academies. You can see here on the screen a wide range of academies. Students will meet in their class both morning and afternoon. The academies are modeled after very successful courses and academies that have been taught for years at UCLA and Michigan. So anything from business 101 and economics to advertising to entrepreneurship, to graphic design, to sports management, philosophy and creative writing, art and architecture, and the list goes on. Again, students will choose one academy, and they will be in class for about 4 hours a day, and then participating in activities every afternoon, evening, and weekend. Connecticut College is our other new university partner for 2021. We're very excited to be in Connecticut. Connecticut College is located in New London, Connecticut. There is a 2-week session as well as a 3-week session. They both have the same start date. One just goes 1 week later. Again, for high school students, again, the students will choose from one of the academies that are offered for either the 2-week session or the 3-week session, and be in class for about 4 hours a day. And then here on the screen, you can see a sampling of the kinds of activities that will take part in the afternoon, evening, and weekend. Just to give you a quick overview of a typical schedule, a typical day of our in-person residential program. Students will wake up around 8:30, go and head to breakfast. Breakfast will be in a dining hall right adjacent to the residence hall, or in the case of Michigan, in the hotel. They will head to their morning class roughly at 9:30. Again, all of our students will be in class exactly at the same time so that they can then socialize and engage with the other students when they're not in class. They'll break for lunch, and then they will go to their afternoon class. Again, every afternoon, there'll be a choice of activities that are all structured and supervised by our staff for our students to participate in. Come back and for dinner, and then have their evening activity. Students are responsible to be in the residence hall or in the hotel by 10 p.m., checked in with their resident counselor on their floor by 11, and in their rooms by midnight. I want to talk a little bit about safety, because we do here at Summer Discovery pride ourselves in the fact that safety and supervision is our #1 priority, as it always has been. Prior to COVID, again, it was a priority of ours, and we did this in a number of different ways. We handpick our campus locations and our home areas to make sure we're easily accessible to any medical facilities and safety and campus security, things like that. We have a great leadership team on every campus. It's headed up by our directors. All of our directors have been with us on an average of 14 years. They come back each summer to run our programs. Working with our directors is an administrative staff, helping plan and all the activities, being a liaison between the students and the faculty. And of course, we have a health and wellness coordinator on every campus to make sure that if a student were to get sick or injured, they're well cared for and the communication back home is seamless. This year, in light of COVID, we will also have a registered nurse on every residential in-person campus as well. And then most importantly, our resident counselors. We're very proud of this group of people who take care of our students 24/7 in student to staff ratio of 10 students to every 1 resident counselor. Our resident counselors have all been hired, background checked, and vetted by Summer Discovery, and then as well as trained by Summer Discovery. And they only have one job on campus. That is to make sure our students remain happy, healthy, safe at all times, following all of the rules, and then fully participating in all aspects of the program. And again, our staff do live right in the floor next to the 10 students that they're responsible for. A lot is going to go into creating some new protocols in light of COVID. Of course, our internal COVID task force is following the CDC guidelines each and every day, as well as the state and local guidelines, our university's protocols, and then preparing Summer Discovery protocols. So you can expect some additional levels of security and safety in regard to COVID. Some of the things that we are putting into place is that our students will be responsible to have a negative COVID test prior to arriving on campus within 72 hours. They will also be tested when they get to campus, and they will be tested every week thereafter. Our registered nurse will also be responsible for monitoring any chances of students being exposed to COVID, as well as particularly when they go off campus to any activity, coming back and making sure that they have not been compromised. In addition to that, our students will be, at this time, will be expected to wear masks when they're not in their rooms. And we have limited the number of students that we're going to allow in each room. So the maximum number of students will be doubles, as well as the number of students in a classroom. So while when we first started our planning, we were looking at 6 feet of social distancing in our classroom space, we have just learned that many states, including California, has reduced that to 3 feet. So we will continue to monitor the guidelines by the CDC, and we will put those guidelines into place in our classroom space as well. In addition to that, we will avoid heavily crowded public venues. So some of the things that may look a little different this year is in the past, as in the evening, we might have headed to a public venue to see a comedian or an improv show or go to the movie theaters. This year, we'll be bringing those entertainment and activities to campus so we can keep them in our safe, healthy environment. We are going to expect our students to respect the community and expect our COVID policies and procedures just the way we would expect them to respect all of our policies and procedures that are put in place each year to keep them safe and healthy. So we are a no tolerance policy program. We always have been, we will continue to be, and we take those policies and procedures seriously. With that said, we've had to reduce the capacity of our programs to enable us to maintain some of these COVID protocols. So we do encourage our families to reserve their space now. And I will go over quickly the application process. So for the summer discovery programs, the first step is to apply online, submit a recommendation and transcript. Once you've submitted that with the $100 application fee, you'll receive an application acceptance decision within 1 to 3 business days. Once you've been accepted to the program, you will be asked to enroll, have your parent or guardian read over the terms and conditions of enrollment, and put down a $1,500 tuition deposit to secure your spot in the program. Right now, we do have a risk-free enrollment in place because we want our families to make informed decisions today, knowing that it's still lots of things are uncertain. So if you enroll today, you have up until May 1st to cancel for any reason and receive a full refund of your deposit minus the application fee, or change from one program to the next. So if you enroll in one program and then decide you want to be closer to home and enroll in a different program, we will make that change at no cost to you, no additional cost to you. And then, of course, it goes without saying, and we were very proud to be able to accommodate this last year, if for any reason the university decides to cancel or change the nature of any of their programs, i.e. going from in-person to online, you will receive a full refund within 30 days. And last year we were able to accommodate all refunds actually within 60 days of the cancellation of those programs at the start of COVID. I want to talk a little bit about Summer Discovery Online because it's still a great option for many students and families who may not want to travel to campus or who are unable to travel to campus, particularly many of our students from outside the U.S. Last year was our first year launching Summer Discovery Online, and we had hundreds of students participate in our online program. And so this year we've been able, through our university partners, to expand the academic offerings. While academics is the cornerstone or the main pillar of the Summer Discovery Online program, in addition to the academic portion of the students' program, they will be able to engage with a global community with students from all over the U.S. and all over the world. We'll have a number of different social and recreational activities outside the classroom, all done virtually as well. And then, of course, we will build in our college success and career exploration workshops and events to help prepare them for that transition from high school to college. Talking a little bit about the academics, we have over 25 pre-college academic courses being offered, also taught by our university faculty and instructors in partnership with many of our world-class universities, such as UCLA Anderson School of Management, Georgetown University, UT Boulder, etc. We have a new partnership last year, which we're going to continue to build out this year. We're very excited about it. That's with IdeaGen. IdeaGen is a conglomerate of industry leaders who work very closely with the United Nations to work on the 17 sustainable development goals of the United Nations. And this program is helping students understand what it takes to be a global leader and to do research in one of the development goals. All of the academics are synchronous learning, 2 hours a day over a 2 or 3 week period. And then there is some additional asynchronous learning or project-based learning that students will participate in as well. And all students will receive a certificate of completion through the university in Summer Discovery. In addition to the academic portion, as I mentioned, which is 2 hours a day over a 2 or 3 week period, our students will have access to 3 to 4 hours of additional optional daily activities to engage beyond the classroom. Many of these will be live, some will be recorded. A great way to engage with a global network of peers through the online community. Students will be assigned to an online community coordinator, much like our resident counselors in our in-person experiences, to help mentor them through the program. They will have access to the online community for the entire 10 weeks of the summer. So not just for the 2 weeks of their academic programming, but for the entire 10 weeks of the summer. And of course, there will be a handbook and an orientation for our students to prepare them for the online community. Again, college success is a key component of a summer discovery program. And so we want our students in the online program to also get that experience and understanding of what it means to be ready for college. We want them to be able to hear from current students and mentors about living and learning on a college campus. We want them to have access to virtual campus tours, access to admissions officers from different universities, and gain tips for researching college options. We also will provide a number of different opportunities and events for them to explore different majors beyond the course that they're taking, and how that fits into the college admissions landscape and careers beyond that. And again, it's never too early for career exploration, so we want to bring that component into our Summer Discovery online program as well as in our in-person experiences. So there'll be a number of workshops on career exploration and professional development, things like learning how to write a resume, developing a LinkedIn profile, or professional etiquette and communication skills necessary to be successful in the workplace. We'll have opportunities for students to explore the link between their personal interests, the majors that they choose, and the possible careers that could come out of that, and connect with professionals from different industries to learn about their career paths. Students who participate in a certain number of college readiness and career exploration workshops will also earn a college and career certificate from Summer Discovery. I want to talk a little bit about our newest program this year. Summer Discovery was very proud to acquire the Summer Institute for the Gifted. The Summer Institute for the Gifted is one of the leading programs for the students who are showing excellence in academics and gifted and talented. The Summer Institute for the Gifted is also a program that provides opportunities, academic opportunities for students ages 5 through 17. So this is a great opportunity for those younger students as well. The SIG Academic Approach is multidisciplinary, helping students make learning connections across disciplines and exercise conceptual thinking using multiple perspectives. It is all problem-based learning and project-based learning as well, focusing on critical, creative, and complex learning and application of those concepts to real-world problems. And the academic approach does take into consideration the whole student or the whole person when they're building out their academic offerings. As I mentioned to you, the Summer Institute for the Gifted's academics is focused in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And they've also added humanities and recreation as well. And the academic offerings are based by age and grade level. And so when you're on our website, if you're looking at a particular course, it'll tell you what age group that course is available to through a code. But again, different courses are available to different students based on their age. And again, there's programming for students ages 5 through 17. Just to give you a little bit of a little look at the day in the life of a SIG student who's ages 5 through 12. The Investigators program is a day program. Students can come from a full day or a half day. If they come for a half day, they will take 2 academic course periods, so they'll pick 2 courses. If they come for a full day, they will take 4 periods or 4 courses. So here you can see on the schedule of the investigators program for ages 5 through 12. Number of different locations. The ages and the dates of those programs vary by campus, but we have programs across the U.S. For students to participate in a local program during the day. A typical schedule for the Innovators program. The Innovators program is for students ages 9 through 17. A couple of different options. Students can actually live on campus and be a residential student. They can come just for the day, or they can come for the day and the evening and weekend. Different options depending on where you live and what you're looking for your student. A couple of campuses throughout the U.S., Haverford College in Pennsylvania, Connecticut College, UCLA, etc. A typical day is, again, students will take 4 courses and then have their meals and activities after class and in the evenings. The day students will go home around 5:30, and then those are staying for the evening or staying as a residential student. We'll have some dorm time, followed by dinner. After dinner, there'll be an evening study or tutorial session for students to work on any projects or do any homework that they might have for their classes, meet with their TA, things like that. They'll have an evening activity. The day and evening students will go home around 9:15, 9:30, and our students will head to their dorm room and their rooms, depending on their age. It gets a little bit later as they get older. Just to talk quickly about the eligibility criteria for the Summer Institute for the Gifted. First step is to prove eligibility, and you can do that in either an academic route or a creative route. The academic route would be either having taken one of the standardized gifted and talented test scores and performed in a 95th percentile nationwide, or have participated in a local gifted program either in your school or community, or get 2 educational recommendations completed by a teacher or guidance counselor. The other way to show eligibility for admissions is the creativity route, and that would be having performed in the 95th percentile on a creativity standardized test score. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope I didn't go over too long. I know it was a lot of information, but you can certainly reach out to me. Actually, I see that email as my colleague Hallie, but my email is susan@summerdiscovery.com, and we're also available to chat or by phone.
Thank you very much, Susan. That was a lot. You packed so much in. I learned something new about your program. I actually, just by typing in your answers, I just want to move on to GP.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Susan. And
you're welcome.
Again, I want to tell folks a little bit more about our special guest GP. He is the head of the partnerships of Polygence, and he got his PhD from Stanford in 2018. So welcome, Dr. GP Liberty.
Thanks so much, Michelle. I'm really happy to be with you. And thanks to Susan for that great presentation. So many great options. It's exciting to think about all the possibilities this summer. I'm going to share my presentation with you now. And I'm here to talk to you about Polygence, which is an online research academy for intellectually driven high school students seeking unique research projects guided by academics from top universities worldwide. And let me advance my slide here. These are the folks that I work with and that you'd be in touch with if you wish to apply and then potentially to do a project. We are all just a big bunch of nerds across STEM and humanities. Our co-founders are Jin Chao, who is a native of Hong Kong, and she was the Princeton valedictorian in 2017, currently pursuing a PhD in Comp Lit at Stanford. And her co-founder is Janos Percel, who is, he received his PhD from MIT in 2018 and was a research associate at Harvard for his research into quantum physics, specifically the science of invisibility cloaks. Really amazing technology he's exploring. Our head of admissions and projects is Charlotte, who left her position as a professor at Gettysburg College in order to join our team full time. And I, after finishing my PhD at Stanford in 2018 in the history of art and architecture, ran a research program there, an undergraduate research program at the Digital Humanities Lab at Stanford, which is called the Center for Spatial and Textual Analysis. And this is a lab where we take a lot of students from Stanford who are engineering students, effectively CS majors, technology majors, who are interested in applying computational methods using large data sets and machine learning and AI to ask questions about the history of art and culture, social sciences, that sort of thing. And whenever I talk to students to bring them into the lab to work on these long form faculty research projects, it was clear to me that the students with research experience before arriving at the university were able to jump in and not only make immediate contributions to that research, but also to be leaders amongst their peers and to really help push projects forward. So this is why I was delighted to join the team as head of partnerships in the new year. A little bit more about Polygence. The first thing to know is that this is not a seminar. This is a project that you design. We like to call these passion projects. You're taking whatever you are drawn to, whether it be sports like baseball. We have a lot of folks who are doing data science projects on pitch prediction, that sort of thing. If you are someone who loves creative writing, we have students write original works of creative writing that spin into dozens, if not over 100 pages, and then are able to publish shorter works in student journals. And of course, there's a lot of offering within the STEM field, specifically in bioengineering, molecular biology, neuroscience, that sort of thing. You work with experts. So these are PhD candidates, some professors, some higher level degree candidates, and also people who are working in fields like medicine and law, to guide you through a project of your own design. It is meant to be very flexible. So it was, the company began before the pandemic, and obviously we would all love it to return to normal as quickly as possible. But the flexibility, of course, of having something all online means that you can arrange your meetings entirely one-on-one with your mentor, which means you have control over when and how frequently you meet. During the academic year, we find that students really like to find a cadence of once every 2 to 3 weeks, more or less, because that will allow them to put in several hours of work on their project every week and still have time for all of their other obligations, like their own schoolwork, extracurriculars, family obligations, that sort of thing. We also really emphasize the importance of producing something. Research is about creating a project that has a defined start and a defined end, and we want to celebrate when we come to the end by pulling all of the things that we've learned together and showcasing it somehow. So that might take the form of a publication. One of our recent publications, a young woman presented in the International Journal of High School Research on targeted cancer therapy. It was a really great research paper with a cancer biologist. Many students present at conferences. Many have science fairs that they would like to apply to and present at, and lots of other creative possibilities. I'll show you a few of those in the time ahead. So there are a number of reasons why we really love the platform and the opportunities that it gives to students. One of the main ones is that it gives you a chance to explore disciplines and coursework that's not in your high school curriculum. So if you find that you've taken a stats class and you're really interested in doing things that are a little bit more explorative, or that get into your particular interests in politics or economics or sports, you can propose that project, and we work hard to find mentors with expertise in that field to help guide you to set a research question, to be able to set milestones, to work towards that end state goal. It's also a great chance for you to test drive a college major. We have lots of folks who are broadly interested in things like STEM fields, but they might not know exactly whether they want to be a cancer biologist or a wet lab researcher. this is just an opportunity to sort of jump into the lab, so to speak, with these practitioners who are doing research at the highest level and understand what their own intellectual journey is like, but also what their work is like on a day-to-day basis. It's also, as I said, really important for us to be able to produce these showcaseable products. We want you to take something tangible away from the experience. And we have all sorts of support mechanisms, including a really robust showcase database that you can explore once you enroll. That will give you many different options to look for different publications and other kinds of showcasing outlets. And finally, I think it's a really good way right now, especially with test optional, so being the lay of the land in college applications, it's a wonderful way for you to build something that is a unique expression of what you're interested in. We find lots of students who are able to take on a project earlier in their high school careers as freshmen and sophomores. They're able to sort of begin to shape the narrative about who they are, what they want to study, what they want to do with their careers after school through these projects. So very often we'll find them using the experience of their Polygence project in their application essays. And for the students that come later, it really serves as an exciting capstone project for all the work they've done into high school, channeling it towards something that they are personally passionate about. I have a few examples that I'd love to share with you because there really are so many different ways, more ways, any ways that you can think of effectively to realize this sort of end state showcase product. This is a really wonderful project that a young woman at Los Gatos High School, Los Gatos meaning cats, here in California. She worked with Tanya, who has a master's in psychology at Columbia. And basically what she wanted to do was create this student-run organization about mental health and wellness for her classmates and schoolmates. So she worked with Tanya to research scientific literature, to prepare her for this leadership role. And she's been able to create really a movement within her school that is this robust network of students with different social events and leadership that can carry through after students graduate. So establishing this mental health advocacy group and YouTube channel promoting mental health awareness is sort of the culmination of all of the research that she did with Tanya. Another really exciting project, there are amazing things going on with artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is a great project that a student used under the mentorship of Dora, who's a PhD candidate in computational linguistics at Stanford, where she took natural language processing and applied it to different reports of the language used within the presidential election. And this is just a way of trying to determine through large-scale text analysis how different words actually create stereotypes, affect the way that we view different people, populations, their relative power and agency. And this is a really, driven young woman, 16-year-old from locally here in California. And her paper was accepted at a workshop at the most prestigious conference in NLP. Really a great feather in her cap for taking on this really topical and important subject and being able to fold in her interest for this technical process on top of it. We particularly love these, creative outlets that might not be as reliant on text as a research paper or a presentation. In this case, a student worked with Deborah, who's a physician at Duke University, to create a podcast on dementia. Deborah's an expert in neurodegenerative disorders like dementia and Alzheimer's. And so the student wanted to explore the neuroscience behind memories in particular. And so through numerous case studies and experiments, the podcast explains what memories are and how they're affected by neurological disorders like amnesia and dementia. This 16-year-old was from New York, and the podcast called Foggy Minds, you can see it there on Spotify. It's of course available wherever you find podcasts, but it's a really great example of using that passionate research interest to create something that's very unique and that you can share with friends, family, and that will also, of course, shine on your college applications. All of this is to say that the disciplines are diffuse and overlapping. We really feel like the sky is the limit. We want you to be able to think outside the bounds of traditional subject matter and think about interdisciplinary projects. One of my students right now, Grace, is doing a great project researching the language that we use in California wildfires. As I mentioned, my degree is in the history of art and architecture, but having worked with all of these different computational models, I'm really interested in using things like machine learning. And so we're going to use natural language processing to explore the language that news organizations use to describe wildfires vis-a-vis the way that people actually talk about them when they approach their homes through a series of interviews. So just an example of sort of combining a technical interest with a really human form of storytelling that I think resonates with a lot of people, considering the environmental issues that especially we in California are dealing with now. There are also projects in architecture, robotics, finance, entrepreneurship, creative writing, entomology, and more. On the entrepreneurship model, I love this new pairing that we've just made between a mentor and student. A woman who has a master's in food engineering from Cornell and who has founded her own company that makes nutrient-dense chickpea formula that is now used in snacks, is working with a sophomore in college, in high school, who has already written her own cookbook with sustainability as being the primary driver. And so she wants to create a website and market her own cookbook along with other materials. So, think about your own business opportunities in a sense too, sort of budding entrepreneurs. This is also a place for you. We're able to do this because the mentors that we bring into the platform are really people who have amazing drive and experiences. You can see all of these people are, immensely talented in their fields, but they're also still in the process of either completing their degrees or working in their first professional experiences. So they really understand the journey that it takes to get from high school to where they are. That's one of the things we love about these mentorships. It's really a chance to get to know someone one-on-one very specifically over the course of 3 to 6 months. And very often we invite our students to ask their mentors for letters of recommendation for college and other things after the 5th session. Some students form really wonderful relationships coming back for multiple sessions, multiple different projects, I should say, with their mentors. We've also worked hard to build from the ground up, knowing what our priorities were as researchers, a platform that is totally beautiful and bespoke, synced across web apps and phone apps for both iPhone and Android phones. And for counselors, you can see you'll have a dashboard that presents all of your students who are at many different stages in the process, whether they've applied, whether they're in the course of their project. And you can also, counselors and parents both can review the state of the project after each session. We have our mentors write project summaries after each meeting. So not only so that we can sort of keep track of how the student is doing, but so that the student themselves can refer back to these sessions to look at the assignments. We do integrated Zoom recordings as well, so that the students can actually look back on their meetings and sort of revisit particularly complex parts of the conversation. And the mentors are always available through the messenger in order to answer questions in between project meetings as well. I'm constantly finding articles that I think my students will be interested in and sort of sharing them very easily from my phone so that they can continue exploring this thing that they're passionate about. The program at a glance is, it begins with an online application. It's very easy. It's about 30 minutes. There are no letters of recommendations required. There's no transcript required. What you really need to be able to do is express a specific interest for us, if possible, even on the level of subfield. So if you're interested in genetic engineering, for example, knowing that you're more interested in gene editing, like CRISPR technologies, rather than gene therapies like vaccine formation. That's really helpful for us because our mentors are such specific experts in their fields. Some of them, dial in on just individual aspects of things like the central dogma of molecular biology, people who are experts in proteins or in RNA sequences, that sort of thing. So the more specific you can be, the better. After the application, we'll invite you to an interview where we really ask you to sort of flesh out your project ideas. We want to make sure that you have a good grounding for the things you want to do. If you want to do a computer science-based project, we need to understand that you have the relative programming languages experience in your pocket in order to hit the ground running. Then we'll we'll match you with your mentor, and you go into a first session. This session is a trial session. Up until this point, there's no fee associated. You really get a chance to see what the experience is like, to meet the mentor, to make sure you're a good match. And then once you move forward, you can enroll in the remaining 9 sessions of the program. We try to identify right from the beginning, again, with the help of both your mentor and our student success coordinators, what you want to do for the end. Do you already know you have a science fair you want to apply to? Do you have an idea for an abstract that you know you want to submit for publication? And we also have a wonderful internal way to celebrate the culmination of your projects. Our Symposium of Rising Scholars is something that you can apply to. And it's just a way of sort of recognizing and highlighting the really exceptional projects that students have poured so much energy into over the course of their time with their mentor. We just love it when students and parents come back to us expressing their gratitude. We have an internal thread about all of the good news that is happening this time of year with college acceptances. Lots of people are able to take this research experience not only as something that helps them to dive deeper into a specific field that they may want to major in, but it also gives them, I know that Susan was discussing project-based learning. The experience of taking on a long-form research project like this really helps you develop these skills that are about follow-through and commitment, and also about organization, being able to say, I need to chunk these things out into smaller portions so I can actually make progress. And then when I get to the end, really celebrate everything that I've pulled together through all of this hard work. You definitely should stay in touch with us or with Michelle or Lee and then be in touch with us directly. Jin would be able to speak with you in Mandarin or Cantonese. I am sorry, I can only muster French, English, and some Italian if you want to have some fun. But we are here for you and would love to discuss your potential project ideas and welcome you to do something special with our mentors. Thanks, Michelle.
Great, thank you so much, GP. Wow, your program is so new. People are more familiar with Susan's summer discovery, summer program, but yours is just very new. It will take some time to digest and understand. So I really appreciate your time. So next, I will introduce our own CEO, Ms. Li Zhang。那我就讲国语了欢迎大家接下来听一下我们公司的CEO 张丽女士跟大家再分享一下她对这2个项目的了解，现在用中文跟大家讲解一下。
我是张丽老师，美金榜创始人之一，和很多人都是老朋友了。因为我主管高中规划，所以很多的家长和学生在这个时候，尤其是经常来问我，什么样的 summer program 适合我的孩子呢？适合我呢？就是应该推荐什么样的 summer program 的？所以也是经过很多年的这种选择来推荐。那么我们发现了Summer Discovery 和这个Polygence，我认为这是相对高端下校里边学术下校里边是非常值得推荐的。所以今天特地邀请了2位负责人来给大家做这个分享。那就是 in case 大家有什么问题或者是有什么不了解的，我在这儿给大家做一个简单的总结和一个比较这2个项目。就是在做之前的话呢，我想跟大家大致分享一下这个 chart， 这是我做的一个 chart 给学生。就是在我在推荐下校的时候的话呢， 我通常的话，是这样推荐的，就是大家看到，不管我首先要了解学生的这个兴趣，学术兴趣，他是理工的还是商科的，还是人文还是艺术方面。但是不管是哪个方面的话，那相对来讲，学术方面的这个下校的话呢，都是分量是相对来讲不是最重，也是第二重的，就是还是质量最高的，在申请大学的这个角度来讲。所以的话呢，在今天的话，2个推荐的下校都是属于学术方面的 academic 方面的这样的一个 summer program。那在学术方面的话呢，其中的最重的一类是camp by invitation。那这个呢是针对学生对在某一个领域他很有天分，非常 talented 的，比如说他要参加一些学术竞赛，那这个并不适用大部分的学生，只是适用非常小部分的学生。那今天的话，我们选择的第二类和第3类，就是关于 research 和这个大学的这个课程 college course 这两类的话呢，其实是适合大部分的比较 motivated 的这个高中生的。所以的话，我们选择了这2类。那我来比较一下，那这2个下校大概有什么区别呢？他们有什么特色呢？那这个 Summer Discovery 的话，它主要是提供 college level 的 classes。它的这个面向的对象，是指学生的话呢，他想要学更多的在 college level 这样的这个课程。比如他不能满足他高中的课程，我想学的更多，我在某一方面有兴趣。那他这个 program 的特点是什么呢？他这个 program 是以课堂形式为基础的，他是老师来引导这个课堂，学生去学习。它是一个fixed group class structure， 就是这样的一个传统的一个学习的这样的一个模式，2到3个星期这样的一个时长，它上课比较集中。同时的话呢，它还有这个你可以到学校去，像以往的话呢，都是 on campus 的。那从去年开始的话，它就加入了 online 的，因为这个疫情。但是今年的话，它有 on campus， 刚才 Susan 都讲了，有 on campus 的，也有这个 online 的，它有非常多的课程。今年这个因为疫情，它的课相对来讲就比较少一些了，但是它以往是非常多的，而且它的领域也是非常多的，不管是你对这个理工方面感兴趣啊，还是对 business 啊 leadership 啊，还是这个 humanity 就等等的，它都有一些课程。那对学生的这个就是通过上这个下校达到一个什么样的结果呢？那就是学生是一个学习者 ，advancing academic interest to a higher level， 就是他在高中的这样一个 level 的话呢，更提升到一个大学的 level。那适应的这个学生的话，就是他首先他想去学习，他有这个兴趣。有些学生的话呢，可能是我刚一开始对比如说 business 感兴趣，但是我不确认到底我是不是对 business 感兴趣。那这个时候他要上一下，他可能就了解更多，这样的话呢，也方便于他以后的规划和大学的专业的选择。那有些学生他对这个方面已经非常的感兴趣了，那他就上一些更高级的课程，这个在大学申请啊和他未来专业的选择都是非常有好处的。那因为我们和这个 Summer Discovery 是合作的关系，大家在申请的时候的话，有一个50块钱的这样的一个 coupon， 通过这个链接的话呢，填一下表格也行，然后就是给这个 code 也是可以的，可以录取之后的话呢，可以获得50块钱的折扣。那这个 Polygence 是一个什么特点呢？ Polygence 是主要是以这个科研究 passion project 为 base 的这样的一个 program。它针对的是哪些学生呢？针对的学生的话，也是当然都是 highly motivated。但是一个最大的特点的话呢，是学生来 self-driven， 就是以学生为核心的，学生来主导这个项目。那这个 program 的特色呢，就是 individual， 刚才那个 GP 也讲了，就是这个 individual student driven， 它不是由老师给你来讲，老师给你布置作业，而是由你自己有想法，自己来引导这个项目。And no fixed structure， 就是 very flexible， 非常灵活性的。它时长相对来讲也比较长。这个深度的话呢， 就是做的比较深，最后而且又有成型的，你能够拿出成型的这个结果来，那这就是对这个项目最后的结果是一个什么呢？就是你的学生一定要是一个 producer， 前面那个呢，它是一个 learner， 就是你去学习，那这个的话呢，你是要一个出成果的，就是最后你要拿出一个 passion project 来，不管是关于就是那个理工科方面的这个科研方面，还是其他方面，只要是你的 academic interest 的，那你都可以做一个 passion project， 就是你是一个 producer and with unique research interest and ideas， 就是非常的独特，不会有2个人是做相同的 project， 那这个在大学申请里边的话也是非常 value 的，就是你的来表达你自己独特的 passion 和 interest， 并且的话，如果你想持续的做的话，就是在这个 program 之后还可以继续再跟你这个 mentor 再继续做下去。那这个 Polygence 的话呢，也为我们的学生提供了50块钱的这个 off， 那通过这个链接来申请的话，就是也会得到50块钱的 off。那这就是我来对比了这2项。那我们这个美金榜高中规划的服务项目都包括哪些？我想跟大家做一个简单的介绍，因为我主管高中规划这一块，下校的话呢，就是其中一个很重要的部分。当然，针对于我们规划的学生的话，每一个人我都会针对他个人的这个特点来给他提供适合他的那个下校，不是简单的就是大家你自己去选择，就这些，都推荐一样的下校。那我们这个高中规划的服务项目就包括这边是英文的，这边是中文的，就包括了，就是你从9年级一入学，到你这个申请大学，你所有的上大学需要的，需要准备的，还有你高中需要建立的你的这个习惯和能力，各个方面，那是围绕你自己的特点，每个学生我们是个性化定制的，就是这样的特点来给你提供这样的规划项目。那么家长在选择的时候呢，可以选择这个整体的打包的规划，也可以选择会员制，也可以选择单项，比较灵活。那如果是哪位家长感兴趣，想了解更多的话呢，可以加我的微信，我微信是 longstar2012，这是我们的这个邮箱，网站就是 tothetopeducation.com。那我们今天的那个讲座就到此结束。大家周末愉快。